Well, good morning. You can see the sun's just coming up. It's 05:30 in the morning and Sally's already up and she's rushed out to the front of the land to do gravel circles, and we're going out to ask her why she's up at 5:30 and what's she gonna do. There she is over there on her hands and knees digging away, and we've not even had breakfast yet. So this episode is all about our gravel circles around our trees. Hey Sal.
Morning Pete.
Good morning. Is that the sun just rising?
Yeah.
Just over there? Is it just coming up?
I wish it hadn't come up, because to be honest, the best time of the day is before the sun comes up at the moment. But now it's going to start getting hot and the flies will come out and they'll go in my ears and up my nose, and it's horrible, and I'll get all sweaty, and then I want to stop and I can't because I've got too many trees to do. And this is the 31st out of 36 trees, and in the last 10 days. So I'm rather tired. I've got tree circle fatigue, if I'm honest.
Tree circle fatigue, is that a medical condition?
Yeah, but what I'm doing, so the process is I have to weed around the trees, and to be honest, these last 6 pistachios are going to be a dream to weed around, because it was only last year that we did the ground around the trees. Some of the ones around the land, I spent more than an hour and a half with Battle of the Cooch.
Before you go on about that, are we going to tell them why we're doing it?
No, I'm going to say what I'm doing first.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll tell you in a minute. Okay, we'll tell you in a minute why we're doing this. But for me, the process has been weed around the trees first. And these are really, really easy to do, these pistachios, because the ground is good. Pete did them last year. Some of the ones around the land I've spent more than an hour and a half on. Battle of the Cooch grass, for example, going on. But either way, weed around the trees. Make a watering basin again, because they've all disintegrated over time. Then I lay a weed barrier, 7 squares by 7 squares weed barrier. Cut a hole down the middle so it wraps around the pole and the stem, making sure all the time that this grafting spot is kept clear, even because that you have to do that when you plant the trees initially anyway, so we mustn't go above that level. Then I'll take my wheelbarrow, my trusted wheelbarrow, and I'll fill up with gravel. Well,
is that the wheelbarrow that I put the solid tyre on, the yellow solid tyre? Because
it kept going down punches. Because we got a horrible weed with spikes. Yes, it is. Yeah. 13 shovelfuls, my shovelfuls, not Pete's shovelfuls, of gravel. And then I empty it around, I make a circle, and then I trim it with scissors, and then I move on to the next tree. So I am on the final straight, Pete. At which point, shall we tell people why we're doing this?
Let's do that, since it's such a nice early start. Go on then. Go on.
Oh, this is my Blue Peter moment. And I did get the badge as a 7-year-old. This is one I've prepared earlier. Finished product, tree circle with gravel. Nice depth, it's about 1.5 inches. And keeping this bit clear, as I said. So, quite selfishly, weeding is one of the things that I would like to reduce at La Bolla if I can, because there's so much of it to do. And for me, the benefit of doing this is an invest to save approach, because it's an investment of time to save time in the long run.
And all the locals still think we're raving mad.
They do. They pass by and go, what are they doing?
What are they doing? Idiots.
So the idea with the weed barrier definitely is to prevent the weeds which come up all year round from hopefully coming up. I mean, they will come around the edges anyway, but that will mean I don't have to get on my hands and knees every time I'm at La Bolla to try and weed the fruit around the fruit trees. And we've got a lot of fruit trees. We've got more than 50 fruit trees altogether, young ones like this, that we're going to do this with. So we're doing 36 on this trip, which is June, and another 14 in September when we're back. So that's a lot of trees to do, but hopefully over time I'll have less weeding to do.
Now we're talking about water and why we've done it. And this is all our idea. We haven't read about it or anything.
We're not experts.
We're not experts. However, a lot of places will use gravel as mulch in the dry gardens.
Yes.
So we're just following that on as a logical type thing. So when we planted these trees, we got the digger in and we dug down. Then I actually sifted the soil and put sifted soil back in there and refilled it, and we put the watering basin in. So what we thought for this is, when we put water down here, because they're putting 20 litres.
I've got a suggestion.
Yeah.
You can't see your eyes. At this time of day, you probably don't. Yeah, there, that's it. No, that's it. Because you can't. Sorry, you're going to have to start again.
Apparently you can't see my eyes with my cap on, so I'm going to look like a teenager doing this one. Very old teenager, but anyway,
And
there
you've
you
got
go.
to do it all again.
And I got to do it all again.
Look who's appeared.
Oh, hello, Atty. There you go.
YouTube cat.
YouTube
Okay,
cat.
carry,
He goes,
on, carry
right,
on.
go on then, carry on, Pete.
Let's start again.
Yeah.
Take two.
Take two. So when we planted these trees, we had the digger that came in and dug a hole, and then I took all the soil out, sifted it, and then put it back in there. With some of the other trees, I also put wood at the bottom. And the idea was, when it rains, the rain will go down the bottom into the hole, because obviously normally it was only soil this much, but now we got this much because we got the digger in. We had the circles around it that we put water into it, and we just thought a natural progression would be to put gravel here, so when it rains, the rain will hit the gravel, go straight down so it won't evaporate, and it will continue to go down in the... Oh, go away.
Pete hates cats rubbing up against his leg. Just saying. Just saying.
And then it will go down in the hole that we've produced and stay down and won't evaporate. So the gravel will help the water go down quickly, stay down, and keep the moisture down without evaporating. What I'm also going to do is all of these fruit trees, well, majority of these fruit trees close to the house, next year I'm going to put a drip irrigation system into it. So I'll actually have a dripper in the gravel, so when it drips, it'll also drip water down efficiently and go down and not evaporate when we're drip feeding irrigation. So from the watering perspective, that's why we've also done it. So we've got the weeds, we've got the water retention, and now Sally is going to talk about bugs, because
Am I going to talk about bugs?
Because I've got obsessed with bugs. Because if I go talk about bugs, I'll be here all day.
You can't be rational about bugs.
No, I can't
anymore.
be rational. I'll go all
You can't
irrational.
be objective. Okay.
All right.
This pomegranate, young pomegranate, is a good example of what the ground is like before I have to start weeding it. And as you can see, it's not easy terrain anyway. And what happens, what we've found, and the reason I'm talking about this, not Pete, is because Pete can't help himself. He'll be going all around this tree. There's these tiny little snails that crust up on the joints of the branches, and they do actually munch the leaves as well. That's a bigger one. That's quite a big snail for this tree. They're usually a minuscule snail.
So,
sorry, I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So one of the reasons
and what would I do, Sally, with a bucket?
you'd go round and collect these snails and walk them down to the end of the land and chuck them over the wall.
It would take me about an hour and a half.
You'd spend really valuable time. I go, oh, where's Pete? Well, you know, we've got this that needs doing, that needs doing. He's walking around with a bucket, going like this, getting them off one by one and putting them in the bucket. Whereas I'd go along, cross them around, let them fall on the ground, then push them to the side. But what we think they do is we think they might live in the ground. And they certainly collect, Atty, or everywhere. They certainly collect down here, right at the base of the trees. So, and then they must climb up from there. So that's one reason. Another reason why we're doing these gravel circles is because we hope that will stop the snails coming up the trees. And with the ones that we've done, much to your joy, can I call it joy? Are you feeling bereft because you don't have a job anymore? don't have to go around and collect the cells off them, because there are hardly any on the trees now that we've done.
Yeah, I think Sally's main driver of this is to stop me from disappearing for 2 hours with a bucket.
There's a fourth unofficial
The
reason.
fourth unofficial is to stop Pete from wandering around the land with a bucket looking like a madman, picking snails off. It was, you know, it was very, at least, Sally, how good are the trees looking now compared to last year when we didn't do all this?
Amazing.
They are.
They're looking amazing.
They are.
No, we're very, very pleased with the trees, generally. That I choose to finish doing the circles, and this is the first time in 35 years that they're tarmacking or resurfacing this unnamed track outside our house. You can see how much dust is coming off, so I'm just going to leave it a while. So just reiterating, we're not experts, we're not advising others to do this. This is us learning by experience. It's our idea about putting the gravel circles around the trees with weed barrow underneath. But so as an update, we'll do a future short maybe, or some kind of update video to let you know how it's going after 6 months to a year, because it might or might not work.
Yes.
We don't know.
We might have just made extra work on top of the work that we've already done.
Well, I've certainly put a lot of extra work in already.
Okay, Sally's been working really hard. Now, if anyone watched the thing about fencing when I came out with, oh, it's a bit of trig, well, it's a similar sort of thing. Because I said to Sally, oh, 7 centimetres, I could work out how much stone that you've put in there. So a volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times the depth. So it's a metre, so it's half times pi r squared. So it comes out to about 0.054. Multiply that by 30 and you get 1.6 cubic metres of gravel. Each cubic metre is 1,600 kilos. So it works out that Sally's done about 2,400 kilos worth of gravel around the hole.
Maths, Pete.
So for all those interested, I might even put it up on the screen while I'm talking about it. Anyway, the upshot really is Sally's done a lot of gravel shifting around, about 2.5 tons worth.
I can vouch for that.
And that was my bit of trig, because Sally likes trig in the morning. At 6 in the morning with the sun coming up.
Yeah, sorry, I was yawning throughout. Touching on 7 o'clock, no, 6:30 by now.
It's barely 6:30.
Yeah, and it's already beginning to get warm, isn't it? That's why I get up with the sparrow's fart. I am standing in the middle of the product of my hard labour, surrounded by trees that all have these lovely, neat gravel circles around them. Feast your eyes, because they won't look like this going forward. We really hope that you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe, then we'd absolutely love it. So would Atty, because he's featuring more and more. And comments, if you can make a comment, we will reply within 24 hours. So thank you ever so much for watching.